Hey everyone, it's Hector Bellerin here, and welcome to my new podcast, More Than. The name kind of gives it away, but the main reason I wanted to start a podcast was to find athletes and people who do more than their profession we all know them for. And I wanted to find people going the extra mile and just have a chat with them to find out their different stories. I wanted to not only give these people a platform to share their stories, but also a chance to educate myself and whoever is listening. Hope you'll enjoy. And this is my first episode with my good friend Serge Gnabry. So, hello everyone. I'm here with the best German chef in the world, Sergio Gnabry. What are you saying, my bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? I have
I'm
to stop
good.
laughing already.
And of course. This is what I want, man. This is what I want. Bro, I've told you already about this project that I've had in mind for a while, and you're my first guest. How do you feel about that, bro?
I feel very honored, you know. Man, like Heki B's got a big network, so I'm very, very honored to be the first one on this podcast, and let's see where it takes us.
Come on, bro. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I watched the game against Dortmund, bro. I think
Thank
that
you.
sets you, what is it, 6-7 points now off them?
Yeah, 7 points. We're ahead. I think there's 6 games left, so if we win 4 of those, I think we should be good. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. But obviously, things have changed. It's a whole different game. To be fair,
I know.
you're
How
going to
does it?
experience.
I wanted to ask you that. How does it feel? They just told us today that our first game is on the 17th. I don't know when this podcast is dropping anyway, but we just got the news. So tell me how it feels to play without fans, man, in empty stadiums and stuff.
But basically, it's so weird. It's like training atmosphere, you know, where you hear everything. You know, you hear everyone shouting. Obviously, when fans are there, it's a big stadium. You're always like kind of getting drawn away by the noise, by everything. Like, you know, looking at people. I don't know what it is everyone's doing, but it's completely different. I feel like you're more focused because of not so much going on around it.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to a league game, obviously, you build up that tension and get focused. You try to win. Obviously, we're in a good position.
Do you find it a bit harder to get motivated to the game just because there's no fans and stuff, or is it just like pretty similar? I feel like you find your own motivation as well, right?
I think you have your own motivation always, but it is different to playing in front of people. I think it's just way less pressure. You're focused, of course, but the pressure is not there. And obviously, you know how it is, like when fans are shouting for you, like you have an attack going, like kind of gives you a different feeling, which you don't have. So it's basically like playing in a training 11v11, but it's a league game. But
and especially when you play against like Borussia, it's always like a crazy game, right? And
so
the other
crazy,
day
man.
it was just
like
a bit quiet.
We were all looking forward to playing there because you haven't played there, right? Or have you?
I made my debut there, bro. Champions League debut.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. That atmosphere is crazy. So having those fans against you is like big motivation. We didn't have that, but obviously we knew what was on the line, so it was very important for us to get the win. It wasn't our best game, but we got the win. 7 points clear now, so we're good.
But I thought it was still a very intense game though. Like as you say, like it probably wasn't your best game, but it was a lot of intensity and a lot of like coming and going, very aggressive. Like you could feel like, okay, there's no fans, but you guys were still obviously going for it.
I feel like there's more way of going back and forth. You know, like in training, sometimes when you play a 10-minute game, it's so hard, so intense, you know? Puts the brakes on. So it's literally a back and forth. And wow, very tiring, man.
Yeah, I heard there's more playing time now in these games. I don't know if it's got due to the fans or anything like that, but I've heard as a statistic that there's more playing time. Yeah. Did you feel more tired or anything?
Bro, I feel more tired.
Really?
I'm telling you, I feel more tired. I'm telling you. I sat on that plane back and I was like, whoa.
We started training in we were in groups of 5 for the past week. And then today we started training as a group. And bro, it's completely different, man. First time and oh, bro, it's so good. It's so good to be back.
How's your touch?
You can't imagine. Huh?
How's your touch?
Touch never leaves, bro. Touch is always the same. It doesn't matter. I've been training for quarantine though. I've been training quite a lot, man.
Yeah, same. But
that's something I wanted to ask, man. Like, how's it been? It's a bit of the inevitable question. Like, how have you been through quarantine? And yeah, how's it been for you with training from home? Like, were you able to do most of the stuff that you needed to do, or how was it?
To be fair, like I think body wise, I was doing quite well, taking care of my body, like doing yoga, doing my own training sessions at home. We had like a program where we had to do running, all this stuff. So I think fitness wise, it was very good, to just, instead of focusing on tactics and whatever you do mostly in training, it's just like about you and your body, and the fitness has gone up, I think. But it was like, you go to training, you don't know when you're going to be playing again. You don't know when you're going to have team training again. So it was kind of weird to go there without having a goal. That Saturday game time, feelings change on a Friday night, you have to be ready for tomorrow. So that was missing a lot, I think. But the training was very good at Bayern. We did a lot of individual stuff for strikers, defenders, whatever. But the motivation was a bit low, I have to admit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I found harder as well. But because even when you're in preseason, they tell you, okay, you're coming back on the 4th of June or 4th of July, sorry. And then, you're 1 month before you start doing stuff, and then the 2 weeks prior, then you probably give it a go. And it's like, when your first league game is and all this stuff. And I feel like through quarantine, it's like they're sending us programs. And obviously, it's our duty to do everything they tell us to do, of course, right?
You don't have a goal in it.
But you don't know what's going to happen. So was there any, I don't know, any new skills, any new things that you done through quarantine that you were like, one day you were bored and you started doing something and you're like, oh, I like this, I'm going to keep this in my routine or something?
To be honest, nah.
Or you been sleeping all day or what?
I mean, to be fair, because of so many games that we've been having, it felt good to kind of take a break. At some point, like your body just, and your mental side, I think, which is the most important, you do get a little bit tired because you're playing every 3 days. So it's like sometimes you need the rest, staying at home, like being with your friends. So I found that very helpful to like just slow down. But it was too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How long were you at home before you started training?
I think like 5 weeks.
5 weeks, huh?
5 weeks or longer. So normally, in summer break, like in 5 weeks you're coming back to it, but this time you just didn't know. Everyone thought it was going to be cancelled. The routines, to be fair, I've pretty much stayed in my like training routine, doing my things. Started a bit of piano again, picking that up because I was slow on it the other time. Chill. No comment. No further comment.
I started as well. I started again as well.
How's it going?
Yeah, all right, man. I found this like app on the iPad and stuff, and it kind of like, it takes you through all the process, and I've been enjoying it. It's just in the past 3 weeks I've been really, really busy as well, not just with training. Also, I mean, I don't know if you heard, but I'm kind of like the representative of the team with the PFA and the Premier League and all this stuff. So every time that there's a new step into training and stuff, I'm the one that goes into all the calls and stuff. So sometimes it's been like really, really crazy, taking responsibility and that.
That's unbelievable,
Yeah. But I've been really long at the club and stuff, and I know I think it was easier for me to do it. And so yeah, but before that, I was on the piano almost every day, and yeah, just finding new hobbies. I remember the day that you called me, and I was on the bike going around the forest.
I know Hector since we were 16, and he's a completely different human being now.
So wait, but is that for good or for bad? Wait.
No, for good. You've grown up. I mean, we've all grown up. By age you grow up and stuff, but it's just different things you get into. And I would have never thought you're taking a bike ride and actually enjoying it.
But yeah, we've changed a lot, both, man. We've changed a lot, and I'm very happy, man, that you still call me every now and then. When you come here again, whenever you're allowed, I got a couple of bikes there. We're going on a bike ride. I'll show you. Then you're gonna go back to Munich, and you're gonna be asking your teammates to come with you in a bike ride, man. Trust me.
Not to be fair, we actually do that here. Like me and Joshua, we don't live far of each other, so there's a big forest here that we like take a walk in, take a walk with my friends and everything. Munich is actually a very, very decent city to live in. Like, I'm very happy. We've got the mountains here in and around. Like, Austria is not far, so going there usually to a wellness trip or going hiking every now and then. Like, I actually got into it myself, which I never thought I would. Because when I was younger, I hated hiking, man. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But nowadays I enjoy it, and like just the nature gives you so much energy, especially when you have so much pressure from football, from always performing, you know, like that calming down is very important. So I'm very happy that you found this way too.
Yeah, I
And
feel that,
keep
man.
it
We were
going.
we were always like city boys, right? I mean,
City
I
boys.
always used to live a bit closer to the city than you did, but I remember we used to spend a lot of time there, especially obviously when you're young, you always
Hmm.
want to see what's the
Yeah, that's when
motive
you
and
want to
what's
see the
around,
city.
and we used to go shopping and all this stuff. But since I've been here for like the past 6 months, I feel like, I'm living like a way easier life, way more calm, and as you say, like more in contact with nature. Sometimes,
Mhm.
you appreciate like just walking.
It's actually very, I think, very helpful for us. You know, like when
Yeah.
you're so busy having to perform every couple of days, and you know there's so much going on. It's just
Mm.
so nice to relax and calm down, and it just gives you that new energy for the next weekend. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man. I completely agree, man. One of the things that we can agree that you're more passionate about outside of football, which is very related, and I feel like you use it very well, is community work, right? And I was watching the video from when you went to Ivory Coast and all the stuff that you done with Common Goal, and you actually spend the whole summer there, or you spend like a big part of your summer over there, right?
Yeah, I did. I went to Africa for 3 weeks. I took my parents on a safari, which was probably the best holiday I ever had.
Really?
So I can recommend to everyone,
Hmm.
do a safari. It's just like, again, as
Where
we
did you do
just
it?
talked,
Where was it?
nature in Botswana.
Okay.
So nature there, crazy, you know, the whole thing of just being out there without cell phone, without being in touch with everyone back home. It just like it's a completely cleansing time.
Yeah.
So I spent the safari there, and then went to the Ivory Coast, where of course my dad's family is from.
Hmm.
He's there at the moment. He goes there a lot. I try to go there every 2-3 years, you know, to also get to know more about the culture, get to know my family a bit more, because obviously they can't come over here.
Yeah.
And then also started to do the community work. And for me, it was very important to do it where my heart is. So to do it where my
Mhm.
dad is, where he's from, you know, to help there. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think in the future, a big thing for me is to spread it, because obviously there's help needed everywhere in the world. But
Yeah.
to begin with, it was important for me to do it out there. And yeah, it was very crazy to see it firsthand. You know, like to see how people actually live, and it just opens your mind about how lucky we are, and yeah, you just want to do more once you've been there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that says a lot about you, man. The fact that I feel like the summer holidays is something that always everyone is like really, really expecting after like 11 months of like very high
Yeah,
intensity and hard work, and you exchange your well-being really, or like this
yeah.
connection for actually helping other people, man. And I think that's great, and yeah, man, big respect for that. And when was the first time that you realized that you wanted to help these people, or you like, I have this platform, I'm a footballer, my dad comes from this background? Or was it once you were there, or like when I heard when you were 13 you went there, was it
Yeah,
then that
yeah.
you realized that you could do something for those people? Or when was the time that you kind of like flipped the switch and were like, okay, I need to work here?
I think I've been realizing it from the start, you know, because always my dad was in touch with his family. You know, we always send our old stuff there. You know, we always help them out with money. Like it's a responsibility thing for them. Like when there's part of the family that lives in Europe and earns money to help his brothers, sisters, or their family out. So it was always in the back of my mind, and that's just how I've been growing up. You know, to
Mhm.
have a second base there and help them. And then the first time I went down there was when I was 13, I think, and it opened my mind about how my family is living out there, and we are so blessed here. Like, you know, we don't struggle here, do we?
No,
Like,
no.
we've got food, we can go to school like without even worrying about it. And
Yeah.
for my cousins back there, it's like we have to give them their school money for them to be able to go to school. So
Yeah.
it's always been in the back of my mind, and I wanted to start something by myself. But then I got approached by Common Goal, um, by that project, and I just thought, like, let me start there, you know, because a lot of people um, together, I think is going to be more successful than doing something by myself. But for sure, in the future, I also want to have, or I want to do, I would say, my own thing where I build more and more down there. But to start with, I think that project is very amazing. You know, people donating 1% of their salary, and yeah, it's just something I want to do and something I want to grow in to give back, because like also football coming in, and not just the family. You know, people out there, they're crazy for football, like crazy.
Yeah. I saw in the video.
So, crazy. You know, they just come out. They live in the poor, but then they come to play football and it's calm. So that made me realize, you know, like I'm one of those fortunate people to be able to earn so much money through football, and I want to give them something which they will never have, but just to help them and, you know, give them a happy time in their life.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting what you said, that obviously here in the Western world, we know in third world countries and in so many places in Africa how much they struggle, because we don't see it with our own eyes and stuff. It feels like it's not close enough for us to help, but when you go there, I feel like you get a glimpse of like
different
with very little, like you, for example, just go in there, the motivation that those kids can get, and like, you know, how much you can help them with just your presence, apart from like the 1%, etc., which is obviously amazing. I think there's not enough people doing the groundwork, you know, and I know for footballers sometimes it's hard because levels of safety.
We don't have that much time and everything.
Yeah, and also I think for a lot of players I've spoken about, safety is a big issue in so many countries as well. So obviously you want to help, but at the same time, you want to do the right thing, because you also have responsibilities with your club and stuff. But no, I think it's great that you went there, you saw it with your own eyes. And do you, as you said, like you wanna do you want to get bigger, you want to expand it to possibly other cities or other countries? Is that a project that you are already working on, or is it something that for now is just kind of like I'm just working towards it? Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, after I was there with the common goal project, I felt like it was so good to be out there, and I wanted to do more. But obviously now, as with everything, Corona is coming to the way. But yeah, I'm gonna focus on doing more, building more, you know. And I think, as you said before in your intro, like, to show your face is, I think, the most important thing, because then you have a different connection with it. So I want to go down there more often, and also like just in other, I would say, cultures like India, Asia, you know, people out there, it's the same thing. So I want to do more and more, build a charity, do stuff like that. Most important thing what I took from there was hospitals and everything, because obviously it's a whole different situation with their healthcare, and those are the things that I want to do in the future. And yeah, it just comes from heart and family.
Yeah, bro, you need to take me one of those trips, man. I've always wanted to do it. I've been speaking to Edson, our friend, and this is something that I've always like had in my head. I was gonna go to South Africa in 2016, and then I got called up to the Euros, and I couldn't do it. That was planned to be my first trip of groundwork as well that I wanted to do. But now that we talk about Ivory Coast, I wanna hear how's your family over there, and how's coronavirus affected the country? And I know I've heard about other countries in Africa that also is very hard to count, because there's not many. You know, the system of recording of how many people have coronavirus, and the ventilators, like the facilities that they have, they're obviously not the same ones that they have here, and it's been really difficult in some of those countries. How is it over there in Ivory Coast, and is your family safe? Is your family good?
Yeah, I think they're all safe. I'm obviously always in touch with my dad, who's currently there. He says it's all right. Obviously, it has started, but from what he told me, it's not as bad as it was here. You just said it, like the recordings, the testing, you can't even compare it. So I think no one knows what's really going on out there. But my family is all safe. Thank God. He hasn't told me any bad news, and yeah, I'm just happy for that. And hopefully it doesn't like spread too much in countries or continents like that, where it gets really bad.
Yeah, I know, for real. When you were there in Ivory Coast, did you have time to like just chill by yourself, go to the city, maybe go to a couple of restaurants and stuff? How was it?
Yeah. You know, when I was there with 13, I just stood next to my dad and literally like just watched everything, you know, not going nowhere.
Do nothing.
Bro, nowhere. I wasn't even allowed to go to the toilet by myself. But like now, I went out, I went to bars, I went to restaurants, and met a couple of people out there. A lot of time I was with Salomon Kalou,
Oh,
who's been
nice.
playing for Hertha. So he showed me around. His friends showed me around. So it was very cool to see the culture. You know, head to a club down there, which was completely different
Really?
than to what it is here. But it was so much fun. You know, they love to dance, man. They just love to
Yeah,
dance.
no, it's
I
so
felt so
different,
left
right?
out.
Because over there, I feel like people when they go out, they just want to have fun, man.
They just want to
Right?
have fun. They just want to
Yeah,
have fun. So it was very
that's so
cool,
cool.
and also, you know, just walk around the city, and like it was easier than when I was young. And obviously you notice a lot of different things, you know, how people behave, and yeah, it's a cool life down there, I have to say. So hopefully I can
Yeah.
go more often, and maybe Hecky B will join me.
Come
That would be
on,
mad.
bro. I want to
That
go
would
to
be
one of
mad.
those clubs as well. Something that I wanted to talk about, I feel like for me personally, when I get brands approaching me outside of football to do things, for me, it's really important that they follow a certain guidelines, that the message aligns kind of with the ways of I view the world, etc. With your views on community and how much you want to help, is this something important for you when you wanna, when a brand approaches you and they wanna do a campaign with you or something? Is giving to the community always the main theme for you?
I would say so. I would say to try and get it together. Probably not do commercial things that just like, you know, benefit me, or I would say for clout, if you can say so. You know, having brands that really represent something, because that's what I stand for. Obviously we all like nice things, like we like cars, we like clothes, we like whatever. I think
Yeah.
everyone does, but just for the companies to have values and to be representing something for people and being good, is very important to me and to what I want to work with. Yeah, I would say so. How's that with you?
Yeah. Yeah, not for me. As I said, it's always you know me, and I have like my core values are very rooted, and it's something that like everyone, we need money to eat, but for me that is very secondary in the way I think. And sometimes, like I've been speaking to you and I will tell you something that I think about, or the way I live my life, and you're like, bro, you're crazy, or whatever, and it's, for me, it's really important also in the ways that if I'm gonna align with a brand, or if I'm gonna form a partnership, for me it has to be something that I really believe, and they're obviously gonna help me go further in the way my ideas work.
Yeah.
And I feel with you, because Esther, my best friend, obviously you work with him, and I've been speaking about like a lot of the stuff going on with you, like outside of football, and how important it is for you for these people to actually give to the community. That for you, that is more important than how much they're going to pay you or what are they going to do for you. And I think that says a lot, man. And it's great that you have that that selflessness when it comes to doing things. And yeah, man, it's so it's so weird how things just change so quickly as well, from like when we first met each other and stuff. And I always tell everyone, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this because I'm here. Like, I always knew that you were gonna blow the way you're blowing, because
thank you, bro.
I don't know if you remember when I first arrived. Me and John started training with the under 18s. You are already with the under 21s and stuff. Your boy Johnny, I spoke to him the other day. He's good, man.
Yeah, good.
He's doing well. He's really happy. Hopefully, once the lockdown is lifted here, I can go and see him and see his kids and stuff, because I miss them as well. But yeah, man, you were killing it from the start, and then you started getting your injuries and stuff, and here it is now, man, chefing it every game, bro. Yeah, no, it is crazy, man. It is.
But I miss those old times. I can't lie. I miss those old times. 16, 17. We got along quite well from the start. We had a good group together, though. We have to say.
I know. The Europeans kind of.
Europeans took over Arsenal.
Europeans took over Arsenal. Come on, bro. It was great times, man. We used to do proper clothes as well. And I feel
Yeah,
like, in those ages, you're discovering loads of things like constantly. It doesn't matter if you're in London, in Germany, but like just the fact that we were, obviously your dad came with you, but he gave you like a lot of freedom as well. And we were just kind of like becoming men while we were just, we didn't really know what we were doing. We just knew that
didn't
we
know
were young.
anything.
We had a little bit of money and stuff, and we were just going crazy every now and then. But those are always, I feel like when you're living those times, you don't really realize. But then after now, you look back and you're like, whoa, we used to have so much fun, man. There were such good times.
Too good, man. Too good.
And it's also what I think is amazing that when you like grow up, you go to different teams, maybe you go on loan, maybe you play for an academy, or then you go to the first team, and there's always so many people in the dressing room, right? And there's always people that you become friendly with, but then if they go, you kind of speak to each other every now and then, but it's not the same. But for me, I have like 4 or 5 people that, like with you, we haven't played together in like 5 years, 6 years, and we still like in contact so much. With John is the same, or even with Nacho, that he left last year, but we talk all the time. I'm so happy, man, that we're still like connecting like that. I remember like what was it, 2 years ago we met in Paris as well, and yeah, that was cool. Then we met in London. What was it, last New Year's or something?
Last year, yeah, New Year's 2 years ago. Then in April and stuff like that. So, but for me, it's the same. Like as you just explained, like there's just, I think, a handful of guys, I would say, that you really like form a deeper friendship with. That when you switch clubs, when you are in different countries, you're still in touch and you still care.
Yeah.
And obviously, one of them. So it's very special and
man,
crazy. From Barcelona and Stuttgart, and now we're here.
For me, the friendships is always kind of what always motivated me to play when I was young. Because, for example, I was really good when playing tennis, but I was always boring because if I won or if I lost, I was always by myself, Whereas if I played football, the fun bit was celebrating a goal and like, all together. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, for me, it's been, man, it is truly special, man.
I think that's
something else.
Pitch as
well. Huh?
I think that's off the pitch as well. Like through football,
it translates, right? It translates to the pitch.
It does, man. It really opens your eyes about that. You like always team people, innit? As you just said, like with team people, your base that you have around you, your friends, your family. Like I think it makes that so much more important because you have to depend on them.
Yeah.
And in the way
you carry them as a team, right? Everywhere you go, it's like
exactly.
A team,
and you just know you have your, as we just said, your handful of people that you really care about and really want to work with. And I think like just speaking about the partnerships, whatever it is, like it's so important for me to have or to work with people that I really like. I don't want to get into a partnership with people that I don't get on well, and like it's always effort to meet up or whatever. Like it has to be easy. So I think that's also a big part that we've learned from football, that when you do something outside, it's like you do it with the passion, you do it with the people you want to work with, because it's more fun, and I think the success comes way better.
Of course, it's always more genuine, right? Like when you do something, just like there's a brand or a company that you don't like and you just do something for the money, at the end of the day, it's something that
doesn't help you. You're not happy.
You cannot, and you cannot make it look good. I think people nowadays, they know, when you're truly just sponsoring
if it's
something
real
for
or
the
not.
sake of it, or if it's something that
that's the big point.
Something that I do is like I wouldn't sponsor something unless I really like it or I actually use it, And I've heard that you've tried to start painting or something. Now for quarantine, like you got a canvas or something and you try to paint.
I have a couple of canvases.
Is that true or not?
They're dead.
I don't want you to show me. I don't want you to show me.
There's no chance in the world.
No, it's fine, bro. Listen, I love drawing, and I make all my drawings. Yeah, bro. I used to draw a lot when I was young.
Are they awful or are they okay?
No, I think some of them are pretty good.
Mine are awful, bro. I just stick to buying paintings. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna stick to that.
Do you enjoy the process of doing it? However, it looks at the end.
Once I've started, I'm fully into it. Obviously, the result's not as good because I don't really paint, but like that creativeness, I think
being
just
in the
gives
moment.
you freedom. Exactly. You're being in the moment. You just do your thing. You don't care about what's going on somewhere else. Like even if there's a football game on TV, you just want to paint if you're in it.
For sure, bro. And this is the good thing about art, like whatever you do, whether that's like music or it's like clothes or painting like this. I think no one really can judge what's good and what's bad because it's all about taste, you know. I think the more things that you do in your daily life that absorb your concentration, I think the easier then after you can translate that onto the pitch. So if you can find something that you can immerse in the process like that, I think it's so healthy, bro. Whether it's good or bad at the end, man, honestly.
It's bad, but still it feels good to paint.
Are you gonna do more?
Probably. But now that I've seen the result of this, I just want to take a quick break, reset myself, and then maybe start again soon.
Come on, bro. I'm sure it's better than what you say. But can you show it to me later on WhatsApp?
No chance, bro.
Just one, bro.
Yeah, okay, I will actually send it.
I'll show you some of mine.
Yeah, yours are probably good, bro.
How are you doing, man? Because through quarantine, at the beginning, I was using my phone so much.
Just when you're bored that you actually use your phone so much. Because when you do, say for example, as we just said, you're painting, you don't care about who's messaging you. When you're in your zone doing something else, playing piano or training, you don't care about what's going on. But actually, it was the same for me. In the beginning, I was so bored that I just like started to use my phone so much. And I hate
so much, innit?
I hate it.
I don't have Instagram on my phone. I don't have Twitter on my phone. And I only go on it probably like once a day. So for me to use the iPad, I have to be home. So when I'm outside the home, I'm not on Instagram. I'm not like checking social media, nothing. And then when I'm home and I have like probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes for myself, then I check, because obviously a lot of things nowadays when it comes to like, you know, connecting with people, it's through Instagram.
Yeah. Without Instagram 10 years ago, no one else was knowing what you was doing.
One knew,
but how are people complaining nowadays that they want to know what you're up to every hour?
I know.
I think that's one of the disadvantages in the era that we live in, with the phones, you know, being so good, being always up to date. Yeah. So that's crazy.
But it's also true that I feel like a lot of people really care about us as well, you know. Like there's a lot of people that they really truly breathe Arsenal or like Bayern, and they care about the players.
I feel that.
And also because there's been a lot of stuff with like players being positive and players, you know, a lot of people, I guess, that they're also in some way probably worried, you know, that maybe you contracted the virus or something. And I just every now, as you can see, I don't post too much. I post like once every 2 weeks or something. But like every now and then, I just want to like just give a little update as well, you know, for everyone. But so you didn't like that post then? Because I remember you messaged me away saying,
I was worried.
Why were you worried, bro? I was great.
I see Hector and I see him posting the chair. And I'm like, yo, like, explain that to me.
Bro, I'm so proud of that chair because...
Did you even sit on it?
Of course, bro. It's still right now in the garden right there. I was sitting... Bro, when I sent you the picture just now, you know, when I was outside in the sun, that was in the chair.
Okay. But that picture probably would have made more sense, but it is okay for you to post just...
But I don't have to be in all those pictures, bro. Sometimes I can take pictures that are not just me. But the thing is, like, I right now, because when I moved house, I needed furniture. So all the furniture that I buy nowadays is always secondhand. I don't buy anything like that's brand new. So I bought the structure of the chair, but I didn't have any cushions. So there was a sofa on the top of the house that all the tenants left it here, and then I just put the cushions of the sofa in that chair, and I thought it looked cool, man. So I was just like, oh, this is my throne now. This is
Give me another topic, bro. Give me another topic. Give me another topic.
Bro, have you ever been interested in like making furniture?
To be fair, I think with me it's always mostly like I like things, but I don't want to get into it too much. Like I like design, I like architecture, I like clothes, like all the things that like have to do with looks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate good looks. It's very important for me. Like it has been from when I was young.
So is that something that's in your head?
It is in my head.
Not on a daily basis, but is it something that you think every now and then about, like, yo, what I'm gonna do in the future? Like I've still got 10 years, hopefully. But is it something that is not bothering you, but something that you're thinking about?
it crosses my mind sometimes, especially when I speak to people that are already retired. Like, because I don't know, for us it's just like we literally go to training every day. We get told when to be there, what to do. So it's just like a usual habit. But when I think about what am I going to do when I'm 35 and I have a family and I'm at home, like, what am I going to start to do? So I think like
I don't think I could do that, man. Just like do nothing.
Exactly.
Like just be at home and do nothing.
That's why I say rather now I will focus on my football. I will focus on my performances because I think for us that's the most important. Because otherwise we're not out there. Otherwise we don't earn money. Otherwise we can't be role models for people because no one looks up to us. So I just want to increase my performances while I'm playing, and then for after the career, start architecture, start design, start I don't know what it may be.
Yeah, like I think the way I view it is a bit different to yours. For me, I started since I was like 21. It was something that already bothered me, saying I've got 15 years of my career, and then there's so much more to it after. And also, I've realized that what you do throughout your career, then after has a big impact on what you do after. Because players that probably were outspoken, they're the ones that now are probably being pundits, or the players that were just focused on football were the ones that probably now have become coaches. So what you do now, it does have an impact later, because if all you've done throughout your career is focus on football, which obviously is great as well, then after when you get to 35 and you don't have other things going on, always the more natural path is just coaching. Right, because that's all that you breathe during the whole time, and also so many players miss the whole dressing room thing and your routine and stuff. For me, it's always been more like I just want to try out stuff. Obviously I have my main focus, but to be fair, when we get to 2:00, 3:00 in the afternoon, we've already done everything that we needed to do. We've training in the morning. We've done all our recovery stuff that we need to do. Maybe you have to do yoga. Maybe you do all the exercises that we do after. You go to the gym, but then you still have quite 6-7 hours of your day. And I'm not the player that enjoys just playing PlayStation or sitting there watching TV. So I'm using this time to be like, okay, what do I like? So when I was injured, I picked up a camera, and then I realized that I like photography. Or one time my friend came to my house with his turntable, and he started DJing. Horacio, Horacio. Shout out to Horacio. And then I was like, yo, I want to learn this. I want you to teach me and stuff, and so there's so many things that, as you said, I appreciate, but I like delving into them now, because then, if I start DJing and then I don't like it, then I know that that's something I don't need to waste my time with, kind of thing, And at the same time, if it gives me joy and I can, the same process that you were saying when you were painting and stuff, and it focuses you so much and it feels so good. If you can do that with other things, then to me, it also makes sense, because I feel like it translates to the pitch. I feel like me doing other things and taking my mind off football then focuses me back. And it's like now through the virus, right? When you don't play for a while, when you get into the pitch, you're like, you want to do everything, you want to train for 5 hours because you miss it. I feel like if I was doing my whole day just thinking of football like that, when I got into the football pitch, I'll be like, yo, I've been doing this for the past 24 hours. So it's my way of getting out a little bit. But anyway, you mentioned clothes.
Very relatable. Very relatable. I think what I've meant is also to what you've said, to try out other things, to do other things, but going into it too much that you, I would say, as in the way of start your own brand or start to really work at it. That is really what I meant.
Which is a lot of people have always asked me that as well, why don't you start your own brand and things like that. I'm like, I could never do that because I wouldn't be able to do it 100%.
Exactly.
Because my 100% is football, and I can learn, I can read, I can, do collaborations,
network,
and stuff like this. But I could never, and I wouldn't just do something where I print a couple of t-shirts and then you put it out. That to me, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, now that we're talking clothes, bro, I have to say, bro, that it's been good to see also how your style has evolved through the years, because I feel like right now I look at you and you have like a very unique style when it comes to like other people in our industry and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm just gonna out you in here and say that I like when you send me messages because you don't know what t-shirt to buy, bro, and you're asking me for for an opinion. Heck, he be the stylist.
Heck, he be the stylist. Heck, he knows.
Yeah. But tell me how was it for you, man? Because I remember when the first time that we went to the cinema with Martin and John and stuff. You remember? Like, you were still swaggy. Like, you knew what you were doing.
Bro, come on, don't bring up those times, man. First of all,
no, but I mean, we were all young, and we all had like different tastes and whatever. And I think taste is something that evolves constantly. But I feel like you had style. Like, you liked clothes, you liked looking good and stuff. You had like a little of a hip hop kind of vibe, Chris Brown.
My boy Chris Brown, man, I was into him.
That was your boy, innit? That was your boy.
I was completely trying to look like him. I can't lie. I was wearing the same Jordan.
Well, your Instagram was Serge Brown.
Oh God, yeah, it was. Actually, I was 15, guys. I was 15. I didn't know what name to put there, so I just put Serge Brown. But at some point, I realized, at some point I realized I need to do my own thing. But I loved him.
No, for real. No, he was popping back then, bro. I remember when I came to the UK, the only music that we used to listen in the dressing room and stuff, a lot of it was Chris Brown.
Yeah, for sure. They were icons. I mean, like, looking up as a 15, 16-year-old kid, like, he was swaggy, he's mixed race. Yeah. So I was just like, Chris Brown's the man.
Back in the day, yeah. Take me through your, like, I don't know, what style kind of like always important for you, and I don't know, being different, or what is your view with like the way you express yourself with your clothes and stuff? Where does it come from? Because you pay attention to it. It's like,
I pay attention to it. I think I want to look good. I want to be comfortable. It's just like the same things as with design, with architecture. Like, good looking things strike my mind, however you say it, and shape of things. Obviously, as you said, stuff evolves, style evolves, it changes. A lot of vintage stuff is in now, which a couple years ago you would have said, what the fuck is that? It's just like, I want to feel comfortable and getting to know more about it than rather just spending the money and buying stuff.
Do you feel like knowing who makes the clothes or the message behind the clothes now is more important for you than it was before?
For sure, it plays a role. I think still for me the biggest factor is how it looks. For me is the biggest thing. I mean, when you just start to get money, you just buy expensive things. Even, you know what I mean.
Just because
we all did it. We went to Christian Louboutin back in the day. Spend big money for sparkly trainers, which look horrible. When I look at the pictures now, I'm embarrassed. But it was the time then. But now I just like, and it's not even about looking different. It's just like, I want to be comfortable. That's, I think, the biggest point. Be comfortable in your clothes, because you're only going to wear what's comfortable. Doesn't make sense to buy things that you don't really like to wear or that annoy you after some time. So that's the biggest factor. And I think knowing what brands are like nowadays, like my favorite is Rick Owens. Like, I don't know why, his design.
Yeah, you've been on the Rick Owens wave now for a while.
For ages, and I keep crazy, to it. Bro. So he's my boy. I like his stuff very much. Also found out he does furniture, which looks sick. So definitely,
bro, have you seen his? You need to go on Google, and he made his own bed. Like, there's only like one. Have you seen it? The white one. Crazy,
bro.
Crazy.
Literally, that is the thing. So
the guy's unbelievable. Really I think it's one of them people that their design and the mindset, they just transcend into so many other things. And even his fashion shows, it's from another galaxy, bro. Our brains are here, and it feels like his brain is just over there, and
completely right.
When I was doing the stuff with 424, the production where we created the suits, that guy had
really
been
dope,
doing.
I have to say.
Cheers, bro. I'm very proud of that, man. And the guy from that factory, he makes clothes for Rick Owens every now and then. and he just told us like little stories about how he works the pieces. And bro, it's just fascinating, man, the way he sees it, and it's how it is almost like another part of the human body, you know, the way that he creates shapes. And yeah, I mean, yeah, just and I see you always with the Rico and shorts now every now and then. And I feel like I think which is something really important that people don't realize is that we all have different bodies and shapes, and different things suit us. And the way you are, it suits you so much, and it's so sick when you find someone that. It reminds me a little bit of like Nigel de Jong, you know, which also wears like a lot of clothes like that, and they suit him a lot. And it just looks so sick, because sometimes you just see people trying to fit in with what other people are wearing.
Yeah, they're trying
and the
to
body
force
shapes,
things, and it doesn't make
the
sense.
body shapes don't make sense with what they're wearing and stuff. And I find it really cool when people just find a niche, and you know, because inside that bubble, you can play around so much as well. And that's another way of like being creative and stuff. And it's really cool. But you just need to change your hair back, man. I was watching the video with when you were in Ivory Coast with the dreadlocks and stuff. It looks so sick, bro. You're a complete different player. That's the only reason why you were player of the season.
Chill.
You were player of the season because of your hair, bro.
You know what? I came to one point where I just sat down and I was like, yo, I need to stop pretending like I'm a rapper and just come back to playing football. So that's why I shaved it off.
Bro, that was giving you so much swag, bro.
It was giving me actually so much swag and confidence, but I was like, nah, let me get to back to short hair.
I think that's important, bro. The way you look is important. Also, how you makes you feel, how you play, bro. You look so
like
boss.
On the pitch, like literally from a young age, I would always put my socks above my knees, like looking like Thierry Henry. But man, like Alex, credit, amazing player. But I looked at him and I was like, why are you shin pads? But like, that's just the way how different people are. And I just always like to look fast, you know, put my socks above the knees like Thierry Henry, you know.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Like,
And
that just made you feel like you had it.
But it makes me feel confident. I don't know why.
It
makes me. Yeah. You looked at me sometimes in training. You were like, "Oh, he's dangerous." You know what I'm saying?
Look at this guy. He thinks he's Thierry, bro, and the guy's 20 already. Look at this Chris Brown lookalike.
That's what it is.
Yeah, no, for real. It is important. But I just thought that that's your best look until date, bro. Until today. So whenever you feel like, I don't know, at some point, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen, but you know, like football is always ups and downs and all this stuff. Whenever you're down, bro, you put that hair back on, Serge Gnabry's up here again.
It takes too long, my bro. It takes too long.
I know. It's a long process, isn't it?
It took me a year.
And it also hurts when you do it, right?
So much. Oh my God.
Tight, man. Like
so much. You've done it. I don't know why you've done it, why you've tried it.
Why not, bro? I try everything. How many?
You can get away with it.
How many hairstyles have I had?
Yeah, too many. Why don't you dye your hair though?
Would you want me to dye it? You know what? Yeah. Dyeing is something that I don't know. I never really liked it, man. Like when I was young, I had like a little bit of like, you know, when you have highlights.
Blonde, yeah.
Yeah, in the summer. But I don't know, man. I think like it just kills your hair, man. I think for like black people it's different because their hair is like really thick and really strong. But I don't know. For me, I think like my hairline's looking pretty good, so I don't want to kill it, you know.
It's not even too bad with the bald look, you know. I can't lie, it's not even too
bad. You like it? You digging
what
it?
The fuck's going on,
bro? You know.
Was it Corona?
No, so Essen can tell you I was just telling him like, man, I just want to do it one day, man. But we had done like a couple of photo shoots that they were gonna come in a few months after, so I kind of couldn't change my hairstyle because otherwise the photo shoots wouldn't look the same way. And then it was just in my head. I was like, I want to do it. And then one day I was running in the treadmill, okay. And you know when you run outside or with the wind, all your hair goes back, right? But when you're running in the treadmill, your hair starts going like this, and it was annoying me so much. So I had a shower, and I see my clippers, and I was like, bro, the clippers were looking at me. They were telling me like, yo, I dare you. So I started doing it, yeah. I just did it myself. I started going like this. And all of a sudden, bro, I look in myself in the mirror and I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And
I was actually confused.
I finished it and then I came out the shower and I looked at myself and I was like, you know what? I like this. I like
It's
this.
so. Tell me, how good does it feel when you have short hair?
Bro, it's the best, man.
Thank you. That's why I cut off my dreads.
I know.
It feels so
It's
good.
the same reason why I cut off my long hair, man, because it was just too annoying, man. I spent like so much time in the summer.
Exactly.
You don't know whether to wash it, whether you can go in the water, because otherwise you have to wash it again. It's so long, man. I was like, nah,
Exactly.
I'm getting rid of this. Tell me
At least you came to your
about.
senses.
Yeah, for real. At some point, but then I'm gonna have it long again. Whenever I get bored. So you know how I am. But when I think it was in the High Snobiety interview, you talk about the Supreme drops, how you used to be very into it, and I remember those times. That you were going crazy, you were waking up early on Thursdays just to like buy some stuff, and how that you come off that vibe. What was it that kind of like made you come off or come to your senses, kind of like, as you said with me? And why is it different now for you?
I came to my senses, I think probably mostly because I realized it's a skater brand and I'm not a skater.
Yeah.
I mean, I like their stuff, but at some point it got way too much. And I had too much of the hoodies. I had too much of the t-shirts. And I was like, I don't even like them as much when I see them to be saying, okay, I need to have them. So
it was only the hype, right? Like
it was the hype
stuff.
It was the hype, and everyone was having it. So I was like, no, I need to get off this. Obviously, still credit to Supreme. They still do some amazing drops. Like you have to say, it's cool. It's mad, but
it's crazy how they've managed to keep it going for that long.
Exactly.
And have everyone always guessing and queuing up and. Yeah.
And that was when I was like 19 to, I would say, 21, 22. And now I just want to look different. I don't want to.
Yeah. It's what I'm saying, innit? We all go through our phases and stuff, but like,
completely.
I remember that you were really into it, and I read it in the interview that you weren't on it anymore, and I just thought I asked you about it. Have you ever skated though when you were young or anything?
Bro, impossible.
Never.
Impossible.
You know, I used to be a skater boy, bro. When I was like from 10 to like 13. For 3 years, I used to skate so much, man.
I literally can only do, I can do all like ball sports, literally, but the rest that has to do with balance, I'm out, bro. Man can't inline skate, man can't ice skate, nothing. Leave me. You know, on them school trips that you go ice skating. 7 injuries.
Not you. Just 7 football,
injuries. 7 injuries, bro.
Bro, that's one of the reasons why I stopped skating, man, because I was just scared that I was gonna get injured or something. And like one day I was just doing like a kick flip, and then I twisted my ankle or something. I was like, what am I doing, man? I can't just be doing that stuff. But I have a skateboard though, and every now and then, like if I have to like go like grocery shopping and stuff, I just take it out, and like it's just nice to get the feel back again and everything. And obviously you grew up in Germany, and then you came to the UK, and I feel like in the UK, the way you dress and the way you express yourself and all this stuff, it's kind of like more accepted, or people look at it less than in other places. I feel like, for example, in Spain, if I had always grown up there and never came to the UK, I don't know if I would have been able to like flourish the way I did, and like in terms of style and stuff. Do you think it's harder now being back in Germany to be able to kind of dress how you want, or like, is it something that you did it in the UK and now you're comfortable with, so you just do your thing and you don't care? But how is it different to you?
I don't think there's any difference, to be fair. I think if I wouldn't have come to such a city as London, like which is so multi, which everyone just expresses their way they do, living there, you just see it and you just also do it. I mean, if I would always have been playing in Germany, where I would say, obviously apart from Berlin, London, Berlin, you can compare. I think outside in the UK, it's also not the same as in London. So I definitely picked it up there. I think same for you. But now I just keep it. And obviously some of my teammates, they look at me and like, what the hell are you wearing and stuff? Because they've never been outside that zone, or never been like living in a city like this where you literally see it every day. I think so many people that like move to Berlin or move to London, like you change. In some way you change, not personally, also obviously a bit because you take on a different culture and it gets multi, which I really love. But now I just kept that, and literally I just do my thing. Like, why would anybody tell me I can't wear this? You know what I mean?
Nah, for real. No, of course. Do you go to Berlin quite a lot, or?
Yeah, I do. I love Berlin. It's like, it reminds me of London.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
it's yeah, it's such a sick city. Can't
I've
lie.
never been, man. I have
We need
so
to
many
have a trip.
friends
I
that
told you where we
I
need to go.
know. You
You and
remember we
me.
were gonna link up there one time,
Exactly. And that's
but then
what's
it
gonna
didn't
happen.
happen.
Once this whole
Yeah, no,
thing
I
is
really want
over,
to.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
You're gonna
I
love it.
really want to, man, because I have so many friends that tell me like even like the underground scene over there is like
Yeah,
really
it's
cool and it's
crazy.
like very, yeah, man. It really really attracts me to go there, man. So
I
yeah,
do
man.
miss
We
London
definitely
because of that. I did miss London
really.
because of that.
I
Yeah.
feel London is like, is as you say, it just gives you that platform because it's kind of like also like you go in the street and kind of like everyone's so busy that no one's really looking at you or no one really cares
Yeah.
about you. So it's kind of like you can just be yourself because you just want more, you know.
But you also
Whereas,
see much more stuff. You
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah,
clothes.
yeah,
You see the
yeah,
people. Yeah, you literally. I saw Rick Owens there. I saw other brands there, which I wouldn't have seen
yeah,
here, or
yeah,
people
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
here. So that's where the inspiration comes from, for sure.
And you went to a fashion show as well, right?
I did in
Did you,
Paris.
yeah, was it Alex that you went to?
Yeah, it was Alex,
Did you like that? Did you enjoy that?
but it was completely
How was
different
the front
experience.
row? How was the front row life for you?
Bro, I was just looking sideways, looking at the people that were sitting there, like Skepta, Ian Connor. I think
Yeah,
A$AP Rocky was there. I just
yeah,
looked
yeah, yeah.
sideways and I was like, yo, there's actually these people that, we
Yeah,
as
it's big.
footballers,
Paris is
as
big.
sports people, crazy. As sports people, you always listen to their music, you always
Yeah,
follow their style and everything, and now all of a sudden they're there. It was completely strange, but I just didn't understand the show. I just didn't understand it.
really.
Yeah, I can't lie.
It's just with so much of like fashion and stuff. A lot of the collections as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes are not really wearable. It's more
exactly. That's the point
telling the story of the
of
whole
the brand.
collection,
Yeah.
and then the stuff that comes out or that goes to stores, especially like stores in Germany that you say people don't really dress the way they dress here and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very toned down and very easy to wear and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the vibe of the fashion show because so many of these clothes then after you don't really see them in the outside world and you wouldn't really know what the clothes are about if you didn't really go to the fashion show. And also once you for you it was also the first one, like the first times that I went, for me it was also like loads of clothes and I couldn't really focus. Like I remember like at the beginning I used to look a lot at the models and not really look at the
Same,
clothes, you
same.
know, because yeah, it's like that, and that happens to a lot of people. And then after you start appreciating other things when you do it more and stuff. But it's a really interesting experience though, and I was really really excited when I saw you there, and I was like, is this just gonna be a one-off, or is Serge
No,
gonna be a main
we were
attendance?
planning on going, but it's always
Yeah,
hard with our schedule, It's
yeah, I know, I
usually
know.
the
It'll be
fashion
cool to
shows
do
are
a
when
fashion
we
week together,
play.
man. If we ever have time to
Therefore,
do that, because
therefore.
I feel fashion weeks are also cool because I've been very lucky that a couple of them have been when I've had like days off. So in the summer, obviously the June one, we're on holidays and stuff, and it's also for a lot of people in the fashion industry is a lot of work because I don't know, there's people that criticize the critics, sorry, there's buyers, there's like people from like all different walks of life in that industry that go there to work, but at the same time it's also like a big celebration, it's that time of the year. And I've really enjoyed because I've always met loads of people. I feel like everyone there is kind of always in like a good vibe as well, and like open to like meet more people as well, and it's always been cool. So but I haven't really
But
done Paris like that. I did when I worked for LV, but I haven't
how was that?
really gone to shows and stuff. That was good, man. I'm not gonna
But
lie, that was
how did you feel looking at those people walking? I was waiting for you to stumble.
bro, I was so scared, man. But I don't think I'm ever gonna do it again. I mean, I never say never, but maybe you're the next, bro. Maybe you're next.
I don't know which company will come from you in my height.
Bro, that's like me, man. Me and you are like the
know.
same height, bro.
I know.
But yeah, man, I'm always, me, I'm always open to all these things. So, yeah, man. Bro, this has been good, man. Did you enjoy this?
It was very much fun, man. It was great to talk about off-pitch stuff, and yeah, it was cool.
Well, bro, good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I hope,
you too.
don't want to jinx it, but I hope you guys lift the trophy. I know you're doing really well. And I want to see a couple more goals, bro. I want to see you doing this a couple more times before the end of the season, yeah? So, and hopefully I'll do the same, bro. Hopefully I'll do the same. And I'll just check for you as well.
When you score with your lefty, it's a big thing. It's a big wave. Keep practicing that left foot.
Come on.
I also have to say, very proud of you for being Arsenal captain. We came when we were 16.
Thank you, bro.
Being captain for that club, I feel like it's a dream come true.
Yeah,
so
for real. You know me, man.
For that. Carry that team. Say hi to the people that I still know or have gotten to know.
Of course.
We'll be chatting, Hecky. Thanks for your invitation.
All right, my guy. Great. It's been a pleasure, bro. Take care, yeah?
Hecky, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My G. Bye.
To keep up to date on future episodes, subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at Hector Bellerin.